The structure of the atom. The atom is the smallest particle of an element that retains the chemical properties of that element. All atoms consist of two regions. The nucleus is a very small region located at the center of the atom. It is composed of protons and neutrons. Protons are subatomic particles that have positive charges. Neutrons are subatomic particles that have no charge. Outside the nucleus is a relatively large region containing electrons, which are subatomic particles with negative charges. Protons, electrons, and neutrons are referred to as subatomic particles. It was in the late 1800s that the first subatomic particle was discovered. During this time, many scientists were carrying out experiments in which electric current was passed through various gases at low pressures. These experiments were carried out in glass tubes that were hooked up to a vacuum pump. These tubes are known as cathode ray tubes. A series of experiments were carried in 1897 by English physicist John Thomson. It was in one investigation that he was able to measure the ratio of the charge of cathode ray particles to their mass. This ratio was found to be always the same. Thomson concluded that all cathode rays were composed of identical negatively charged particles, which were named electrons. In 1909, experiments conducted by the American physicist Robert A. Millikan measured the charge of the electron. Later experiments determined that the mass of the electron was 9.109 ⁻31 kilograms. Two inferences were made on atomic structure. Because atoms are electrically neutral, they must contain a positive charge to balance the negative electrons. Because electrons have so much less mass than atoms, atoms must contain other particles that account for most of their mass. Thomson proposed a model for the atom known as the plum pudding model. He believed that the negative electrons were spread evenly throughout the positive charge of the rest of the atom. More detail on atomic structure was given in 1911 by New Zealander Ernest Rutherford. The scientist bombarded a thin piece of gold foil with fast-moving alpha particles, positively charged particles with about 4 times the mass of a hydrogen atom. His conclusion from this experiment that there was a densely packed bundle of matter with a positive electric charge. He called this positive bundle of matter the nucleus. The volume of the nucleus was discovered to be very small compared with the total volume of the atom. All atomic nuclei are made of two kinds of particles, protons and neutrons. The positive charge of a proton is equal in magnitude with the negative charge of an electron. The reason for why atoms are electrically neutral is that the number of protons is always equal to the number of electrons in an atom. A proton has a mass of 1.673 ⁻27 kilograms. A neutron has the mass of 1.675 ⁻27 kilograms. Atoms of different elements differ in the amount of protons in the nucleus.